Alright, I'm back like an hour later with another reaction video to the Square Enix showcase that happened after the Xbox showcase. And I think we're back to people being mostly disappointed with an E3 show. This was a very short showcase. It was only 40 minutes long, and I think there were a good amount of people who were not super jazzed. About 30 minutes of that being dedicated to Marvel, and 20 minutes of that being dedicated to a new Guardians of the Galaxy game where they had a really long feature for it. So Marvel will be mainly the focus of this video because those are actually also the games that I am mostly interested in personally, and we'll get into that. The Guardians of the Galaxy game they announced, I saw this pre-show a couple days ago, so I've been kind of sitting on this for a while and waiting to talk about it. It is sort of the anti-Avengers, where this is a purely story-driven campaign. There is no ongoing live service aspect of it. There are no microtransactions. There's not even going to be DLC for it. They're just saying outright, no DLC. So this is a self-contained story that they want you to just buy and play through and move on. I think they are trying to channel games like Spider-Man or Jedi Fallen Order, where there are like these really kind of high quality story campaign games that are turned into sort of like flagships for the studio. This is Eidos Montreal, who previously did the Deus Ex games, but the last game didn't do so well, so they are not going to make a third game and complete that trilogy anytime soon, possibly if ever. I guess we'll have to see. But they have the Marvel license, which is being passed around a lot, and obviously we're kind of looking for a bit of redemption from Avengers, which we can get into in a minute. It's interesting because once again we have the core problem of, we have two Guardians of the Galaxy movies, about to get a third. They're in the Avengers movies, and so we kind of have this set picture of what the character should look like and sound like, and then we are once again changing all of that. The Peter Quill, I think especially, is going to take a lot of getting used to. I don't know who he's modeled after. He has like very 80s poofy blonde hair. I do think the designs of all the other heroes look pretty cool. I think the Gamora and Drax redesigns are neat, and but you're kind of losing stuff still, even when you don't have like Dave Bautista as Drax anymore, because he's such an iconic character. That said, everyone complained about that with the Marvel Avengers game too, and that ultimately wasn't really a huge problem within Avengers. Like, I think that was still able to tell a perfectly coherent campaign story with the voice cast they had. And I didn't really mind once the game was actually there, so I don't think that will be that big of a deal. What's interesting here is that this is kind of very Mass Effect-y in the sense that you will kind of be having a ton of conversations with your team and other people and making choices. And they had a example of like siding with Rocket or Groot, or getting like it. You can like change the entire course of a mission. Like there's one mission where they need to like sell a monster to this bad guy to infiltrate the base, and you can pick to either like pretend Rocket or Groot is the monster, and he picks Rocket, but then he changes his mind, and then it's Groot. So like, we'll see what the implications of these actually are. Like, will you avoid an entire boss fight because you picked the right person or whatever? Like, I don't know. Like, can the Guardians die if you make terrible choices for them, like it is Mass Effect? That seems kind of unlikely and weird, but we'll see. Combat is interesting because you are only playing Star-Lord for the entire thing, which, I don't know, like, if you have a Guardians of the Galaxy game with like 5 really iconic heroes, I guess you could combine Groot and Rocket into one thing. It does seem like you would kind of want to be able to play as all of them, and like you use them as like special moves, where like you have like a little wheel that comes up, you can select the hero partner you want, and then select a move they do. Is like combat kind of pauses. It reminds me of like Atreus in God of War, except there's 4 of them. So juggling them seems like it might be a little bit of a pain, and combat didn't look amazing. Like it was kind of like low frame rate, and like, I don't know, it didn't really look finished. But this game is coming out this fall in 4 months, so we're almost there, though we don't know how old this footage is. So, I mean, this is definitely something that's caught my interest. It definitely seems like something I will be playing. I'm a sucker for all things Marvel, and even though, I don't know, maybe there's a few red flags here and there, I think this has the potential to potentially be good. And I always like Eidos Montreal's work, and they've done great in the past, so I have faith in them that they can deliver on this. I don't know if this was like the ideal presentation for this, and I know a lot of people were annoyed at how long it was, but I don't know. We'll see. And then immediately after that, they kind of pivoted almost directly into the Avengers expansion content that's coming. So first of all, there's two more things coming before the expansion. There is, let me look this up here. It's the Cosmic Cube thing where Monica, the campaign villain, is now like a villain who you fight in a villain sector, and it has kind of a new story component with the Cosmic Cube. I don't know if the Cosmic Cube's like an Infinity Stone or whatever, but like it's somehow important to the Avengers story right now. But even I've kind of lost track of what that is. That is coming in like a week actually, or like just over a week. So that's actually pretty soon here. And then there's going to be some sort of Wasteland Patrol mode with like respawning bosses you could farm. Sounds good in theory. I don't know how relevant it is in the current lifespan of the game, but we'll see. And then finally, they did show an actual trailer finally for the Black Panther expansion, War for Wakanda, which is free. And it will, I mean, it looks pretty in depth. We know we're playing as Black Panther. The main villain is Claw. And I mean, it looked good. I think it looked really good. Obviously, I'm one of the few people still sort of engaged with Avengers. And so the general sentiment is like they're making an Avengers expansion, but they did promise, they would try to do stuff like this as time went on. And I know at the very least they are making content through this first year here. And I know they have plans for content in year two, but we don't know if they'll actually get there. One curious thing about this was that the expansion is coming in like late August, so that's pretty soon, and that's a lot sooner than I thought it would be actually. And that leaves the possibility open of like, okay, well technically you're still going to be within the first year here, so like, is there anything else coming after that before 2021 ends? And like that got me thinking about like maybe they're gonna cram Spider-Man in here, like the long promised PlayStation exclusive Spider-Man content that they said they would deliver before their schedules got totally screwed up, or maybe a different hero that everyone can play. So I did not think there would be anything besides Black Panther before the end of the year, and I mean maybe there won't be, but August leaves 4 months to the end of 2021 to potentially add something new to it. So I guess we'll see. Besides that, we did not get a ton of other stuff that really was like engaging for me. They had a really elaborate kind of Life is Strange segment for the remaster, a remaster that really does not look like a remaster, if you ask me. They like kind of put a shader on things. That's about it. And then a little bit of a preview of True Colors, the new game, which looked good, I guess, and I guess we'll see. They closed not with Final Fantasy 16, as everyone was kind of hoping for, like more detail, more information, more footage of that, but instead a new Ninja Theory game, which is its own thing entirely. It is, what's it called again? It's, all I remember from that is the guy saying chaos like 50 times and saying he wants to kill chaos like a million times. That was very bizarre. It's Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins. Somehow chaos is not in that title, which I'm a little surprised about. So this is a Final Fantasy origin story from Ninja Theory, where it's like live combat, giant sword slashy kind of thing, like a lot of other games. And so this is something we had not heard of before, and I think fans of Ninja Theory will obviously be very interested in this, and I'm curious to check it out. I just wasn't really expecting the show to close with something like this, and we got a little bit of a preview. It was pretty brief. I mean, more so than most other games they showed, just for like 2 seconds, but far from the 30 minutes or so they spent on Marvel content alone. And I do know a lot of people were disappointed not to see anything from Final Fantasy 16. So overall, I think a lot of people walked away from this slightly disappointed. I am interested in Guardians of the Galaxy. I do wonder how it will kind of turn out in the end. And then I am certainly going to play, at the very least, the Black Panther expansion of Avengers. And I mean, if you own Avengers, there's no reason not to, because it's free. And for all the problems with that game, like what they're very good at doing is building new character kits. And this will be the first kind of truly fully new character kit as Black Panther that we've had since launch, because they have essentially 2 versions of Hawkeye, and like, yeah, they have somewhat different moves, but they're pretty much both Hawkeye. So Black Panther is definitely something I want to try out, and then maybe we could squeeze in one more hero before the end of the year. But yeah, so those are my impressions. A show that is probably not going to resonate with a lot of people. Resonate with me a little more because of my continued vague interest in Avengers and Marvel stuff generally, but I get why the sentiment might be more negative for the show, given what wasn't shown. So I don't know if I'm going to make another reaction thing until maybe we get to Nintendo. We'll see what they even show there at the Direct. I don't know what they're planning on. It could just be not that much stuff, or it could be huge things like giant Metroid and Breath of the Wild stuff. So we'll see. But for now, that was 2 reactions in one day, and I'm probably going to take a break. And no, I'm not. I have to. I'm recording reactions with Destin and Travis later tonight. I might be live even. I gotta ask Destin about that. So that's something I'm doing later on to kind of recap all of this. So I gotta get my thoughts in order. But all right, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.